Hello, my name is Harold and welcome back to my channel, and today we're reading ch.10 Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets, the second epic novel by Dav Pilkey. Chapter 11, The Invention, Convention, Detention, Suspension. George and Hal screamed and ran out of the gym door, closing it tightly behind them. Aha! Yelled Mr. Crow, who was just coming down the hall. You boys left the detention room. You know what that means, don't you? It wasn't our fault, cried Harold. Too bad, Mr. Crab shouted with delight. You boys are officially suspended. Wait, cried George, you've got to listen. Behind this door is an army of evil, vicious talk. I didn't have to listen to you boys ever again, laughed Mr. Crab. Now get your stuff and get out of the school. But Harold stammered, you don't understand. Get out, Mr. Crab screamed. George and Harold groaned and walked into their lockers to collect their stuff. Gosh, said Harold, one day we've got a detention, a suspension, and we created an army of evil talking toilets who want to take over the world. Well, that's a pretty bad day, even by our standards, said George. Oh well, said Harold. I just hope things don't get any worse. Chapter 12. Things get worse. Word spread quickly throughout the office that George and Harold had been suspended. The teachers rushed out of the chair and laughed at the two boys. You're in big trouble now, chuckled Miss Anthrope. I can't wait to call your parents and tell them the news. Let's take their desks out and chop them up, cried Miss Rebel. Let's throw a party at the gym, shouted Mr. Meaner. No, cried George, whatever you do, don't open the door in the gym. We can do whatever we like, snorted Mr. Meaner as he dashed over to the gymnasium door. Look, I'm opening the door. He quickly opened the gym door. Now I'm closing the door, he said. Now I'm opening the door again, and now I'm boom, 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 gah. An evil toilet had stuck its mouth through the door, slapped Mr. Meaner out, and swallowed him whole. Flush! The talking toilet then pushed their way through the open gymnasium doors and spilled out into the hallway. Yum, yum, eat 'em up, the toilets bellowed. Yum, yum, eat 'em up. The teachers couldn't believe their eyes. They screamed and ran for their lives. Only Mr. Crump, Miss Rebel, and George and Harold remained frozen in fear. They watched, paralyzed, as the talking toilets came nearer and nearer. Finally, Miss Rebel pointed at the toilet and snapped her fingers. Snap! Go away, she cried. Go away this minute. But the toilets didn't listen. They moved closer and closer. Finally, Miss Rebel turned and ran. Mr. Crump, however, just stood there in a daze. George and Harold looked up at him. Uh-oh, said Harold. Did she just snap her fingers? Yep, said George. No, we're really in trouble. George was right, for at that moment, Mr. Crab had begun to change. A silly, heroic smile came over his face as he stood defiantly before his foes. I'll put you a stop, you vile villains, he said fearlessly. But first, I need some supplies. Mr. Crump turned and dashed to his office. George and Harold ran after him. Why did Miss Rebel have to snap her fingers? cried Harold. Why? Never mind that, cried George. Mr. Crump is turning into Captain Underpants. We got to pour water over his head before it's too late. Chapter 13. It's too late. When George and Harold reached Mr. Crump's office, they only found his clothes, shoes, and to pee on the floor. Look, said Harold, the window is open and one of the red curtains is missing. What can we do now? Said George. Can we save Captain Underpants or do we stay here and get eaten by a bunch of toilets? Let me think about that one, said Harold as he climbed out the window. George quickly collected Mr. Krabs' things and shoved them into his backpack. Then he jumped out of the window after Harold. The two boys slid down the flagpole and ran after Captain Underpants. Where does he think he's going? Asked George. I have no idea, said Harold. But we'd better run fast because I think we're being followed. Captain Underpants dashed through the backyards of some nearby house and collected pairs of underwear from the clotheslines. Mommy, said a little boy looking out his window, a man in a red cape just stole our underwear. And now two boys are being chased by a ferocious-looking toilet with sharp, pointy teeth, screaming, "Yum, yum, eat him up!" Yeah, right, laughed his mother. Just how gullible do you think I am? Chapter 14. The Talking Toilet Takeover. When Captain Underpants was finished commandeering the underwear of local civilians, he dashed back to Jerome Horrocks Elementary to save the day. The school was not overrun with chows. Miss Robo came tearing out of the door, followed by several evil toilets. Help me, she cried. They've swallowed every teacher in the whole building except me. Don't worry, ma'am. I won't let them eat you up, said Captain Underpants said as a toilet ate her up. Oops, said Captain Underpants. Now only George, Harold, and Captain Underpants were left. They stood on the front lawn of the school, completely surrounded by hungry, drooling toilets. Yum, yum, eat 'em up, the talking toilets chanted. Yum, yum, eat 'em up, yum, yum, eat 'em up, yum, yum, eat 'em up. We're doomed, cried Harold. Never underestimate the power of underwear, cried Captain Underpants as he stretched and shoved underwear into the waiting mouths of the talking toilets. Unfortunately, the toilets just swallowed the underwear whole. It seemed to make them hungrier and hungrier. If we could think of something that would make them really sick, said George. Yeah, Harold continued. Something like so vile and disgusting it will make them all blow their cookies and wreath there in agony. Suddenly, George and Harold's faces lit up. Cafeteria food, they shouted, and faster than a speeding waistband, our three heroes dashed into the school. Chapter 15. Cream chip beef to the rescue. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants got inside the school safely and closed the front door behind them. I think their toilets are all outside, said George. But not for long, said Harold. Quickly they ran into the school's kitchens and discovered a cart putting a large vat of something green and sludgy. Yuck, said George, holding his nose. What is that stuff? I think it's tomorrow's lunch, said Harold. Perfect, said George. I never thought I'd be glad to see cream chip beef. Together they wheeled the tub of stinky green glop down the hallway and outside door of the school. Captain Underpants sat on the cart and stretched a pair of underwear over his head like a slingshot. George stood over him, scooped some cafeteria food into the underwear and stretched it back. Harold wheeled the cart toward the tucking toilets. Tra-la-la! Shouted Captain Underpants loudly. The tucking toilets turned and saw our three heroes. All at once they shouted, "Yum, yum, eat a bump," and the chase was on. Harold pulled the cart across the playground as toilets zipped after them. "Fire one!" cried Captain Underpants. George shot a glob of cream chip beef into the first toilet's mouth. The toilet swallowed it whole. Harold kept pulling as George scooped another serving of underwear into the underwear and put it back. "Fire two!" cried Captain Underpants, zip on the cafeteria food right into the second toilet's mouth. The whole process repeated itself until every last toilet had swallowed at least 2 servings of cream chip beef. "We're almost out of ammo," Captain Underpants shouted. "I don't think I can run anymore," said Harold, puffing and puffing. "Don't worry, look," said George, pointing at the toilets. They had all slowed down and were beginning to groan and wobble around. Their eyes crossed and they turned an odd shade of green. "Look out!" cried Harold. "I think they're gonna hurl." And that's just what they did. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants watched as the toilets unchucked everything they had eaten during the day. The cream chipped beef, the underwear, even the teachers, all came out with a scratch. The toilets spun around in a small circles and fell to the ground dead. George checked the teachers. "They're alive," he said. "Unconscious, but alive." "Wow," said Harold. "That was easy." "Too easy," said George. "What do you mean?" asked Harold. George pulled their comic book out of his backpack and showed it to Harold. "Remember how Patsy 2000 turned everything into on the front cover of our comic book to life?" he asked. "Yes, so," said Harold. "Well," said George as he pointed to Turbo Toilet 2000 on the front cover of the comic, "we haven't seen him yet." Chapter 16. The Turbo Toilet 2000. Suddenly, the Turbo Toilet 2000 came charging out of the front door of the school with a terrible crash. The earth rumbled beneath its mighty footsteps as nearly a ton of twisting steel ragging porcelain descended upon our heroes. "You 3 meddling fools may have destroyed my arming of talking toilets," screamed Turbo Toilet 2000, "but you're all out of cafeteria food. How are you going to stop me?" "I'll tell you how," Captain Underpants said boldly. "With wedgie power." "Wait," Captain Underpants cried. "George, you can fight that thing. He'll rip you to pieces." "Boy," said Captain Underpants nobly, "I must fight valiantly for truth, justice, and all that is precious and cottony." Captain Underpants leaped onto the Turbo 2000 as the battle began. I sure hope this doesn't lead us to extremely graphic violence, said Harold. Me too, said George. And that is the end of chapter 10 through chapter 16. See you on the next video. Bye.